agenda at this time. Public comment form must be submitted to the board liaison prior to the time the meeting is scheduled to begin. Public input on a regular agenda item will be taken at its appropriate discussion. Citizens should speak from the lectern, address all comments to the dais, begin by stating their name and address or a single-member district number, and limit their remarks to less than 3 minutes. Boy, that's changed. Does anybody have any comment?
Doesn't look like.
So public comment, ooh, that's different. No, I know I'm pressing it. All right, well, I guess we're gonna go forward. So public comment first, I wanna welcome Mariah Holguin to our board. I'm gonna just go ahead and let you state a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Mariah Holguin. I was recommended here by Mayor Thompson, and I'm very excited to be part of this board. Thank you.
Short and sweet.
Absolutely. Okay. Really? Okay. Consideration of the consent agenda, consideration of approving the October 30th, 2025 meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept?
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Anybody have any discussions? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay. All right, that passes. So, you want to do the monthly report first?
We can start with the financials.
That's
Then
what you
we'll go
want
into
first?
monthly calendar.
Okay. Presentation of the monthly financial report and event calendar.
So as you all can see in your packets, we do have the Civic Events Fund 410. The ending fund balance as of December 31st, 2025 is approximately a little bit under $1.3 million, and our Fund 410 balance restricted for facility use fees is around $2,396. And that's as of, like I said, December 31st of 2025. Moving into the calendar, obviously there's been a couple of slower months, which is normal for us at around this time frame, and then you can also see that the Coliseum obviously is offline for us. So the total of events that we've had in January was 35, with the Convention Center having 11, four of them being the City of San Angelo events. Coliseum had 3 within the parking lot, River Stage 0, El Paseo 0, Pecan Creek 2, East Mez, which is where we're at right now, 18. Majority of those are city meetings, and then Farmers Market is 0. Going into February bookings, we're looking at a total of 36 so far, with the Convention Center having 21 events, with COSA having 4 of them. Concrete Pavilion is 3, East Mez is 12, with 11 of those being City of San Angelo meetings. If you all have any questions.
What are the big public events coming? The tattoo convention, that be it?
Yeah, so in January, we did host anime at the Convention Center. That was a 3-day event that took place. And then also, we did have the Conto River Legacy Trail. That was a great event that they had at the Convention Center. That was last week. And then moving forward, yes, we do have the Tattoo Convention Center that's going to be taking place coming up the 6th through the 8th at the Convention Center, which they're excited about having it back at the Convention Center. So those are pretty much the key events that we have, plus COSA Date Night will be taking place the last week of February at the Convention Center with the mother, son, daddy, daughter, and the family night.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Number 2, vote for board chairman and vice chairman. I would like to nominate John
Hold on,
Flint.
before we start. Before we start, let me get into some of the regulations on that. So obviously, the vice chair will ascend to becoming the board's chair, which is currently right now Mr. John Flint. I do want to read to you all from our bylaws on how this goes for appointing. So Section 2 of the election, it is at the beginning of the regular meeting each January, the vice president shall ascend to the board's presidency, and the board shall elect a new vice president. The board's nominating committee will make nominations for vice president. Election shall be determined by a majority vote of the members present. Section 3, the terms, the president and vice president shall serve a term of 1 year in each office. Terms will begin and end when officers are seated and elected at the end of the previous officer's 12 months in office. So the chairman's job is basically, and I'll just go through this, the president shall preside over all meetings of the board and shall be responsible for accomplishing all directives, purposes, duties, and responsibilities imposed on the board by the city council. The president shall appoint members of all committees, and she deems necessary, and shall designate the chairman of all committees. The president shall sign official documents on the board's behalf. Vice chair, when in the absence, disability, or disqualification of the president, the vice president shall perform the duties and exercises the powers of the president. The vice president shall also perform other duties prescribed by the board. You all may. So, like I said, Mr. John Flint will move up to to president, El Presidente. And we will go ahead and you all can go ahead and vote for vice chair.
Do we want to nominate?
Yes.
Okay. I will nominate Andy Marquis as vice chair.
I'll accept the nomination.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried.
That's right. All right, so y'all have community service.
Okay. Review of civic events facility policies and recommend any related matters.
Let me get my notes situated. So our civic event facility policies, obviously these go through you all, and then it will go up to city council for approval. The last time we did have approval on these were October 17th of 2023. So it has been 3 years. We only basically take care of this whenever we see fit of taking things out of our policies or some changes that need to be made. Let me read one more thing first. Okay. Just making sure. So we'll go through a couple of these. If you can see that we did redline certain areas. Those red lines are the newer parts of the policies. So we'll just make sure we go through some of these major changes that we made to it. All right, so we'll go ahead and start with bookings. We're changing it from going from having facilities maybe book 1 year in advance to going ahead and trying to set it up to go for 2 years in advance. As a staff, we've noticed that there's been a lot of changes to where people would like to do bookings earlier than what a year out for us.
Right.
And I feel like we're losing certain bookings whenever we do not open it up for at least 2 years. Right. So I would like to make that recommendation for a change, and it states that use of civic event facilities may be booked up to 2 years in advance, beginning on the first business day of each month for all events unless otherwise approved by the civic events manager and documented for all civic event advisory boards. So the major change in this is just going from one year in advance to 2 years.
Right.
All right, and another piece that we did add into this is all fees are due within 30 days of invoice issuance. Any balance remaining unpaid 60 days after the invoice date may be referred to the city attorney's office for collection or for further action. And we just have, it's very seldom, but we do have issues to where certain clients are not paying us within a certain time frame. So we need to be able to take some sort of action and getting it out of our office into legals, and hopefully these clients will pay in time.
Sure.
All right, moving on to, and you can also see under booking schedule, I know I don't have it on the screen, but we did change over the context of having, it used to say Conventions and Visitors Bureau. Obviously, that's no more, it's the Destination Marketing Organization. So a lot of those changes that we made from CVB are now says DMO. And we did take out, for camper hookups, prices will just take out the sentence, since we do not oversee the indoor arena anymore. We took out the verbiage that states prices will be adjusted to match those charges at the indoor arena anytime rates change there. Also, another thing that we did take out of Convention Center Kitchen, we don't like to put in any type of pricing inside of our, inside of the policies, because prices change at times, so it's best for us to just have it going towards the adopted fee schedule that we have with the city. So you can see that under Convention Center that we took out paying $200 a day fee in advance. Although it is $200 a day for the kitchen fee, we just want to just take out the pricing. That way, if anything did change, it's according to what the fee schedule says. All right, we'll move on to insurance. For insurance, we changed it over to leasing must furnish proof of coverage to the Civic events manager or his designee at least 30 business days prior to the event. That's a change from going from 10 business days prior to the event. Putting us in the 10 days space is just too close to the event to be asking people for having the insurance and not getting it or receiving it in time, because we still have to get that over the risk. Also, I did change novelties. Instead of saying novelties on here, if you go to it, we changed it to say merchandise. I just felt like novelties is such a old terminology for merchandise, so I just went ahead and switched that over. Restrictions, if you go into that for restrictions, we did change some of the verbiage that's in here. Instead of, we put in with disabilities. And also the main part of that is that tents, canopies, and temporary structures are not permitted to be staked into the ground. All tents, canopies, and temporary structures must be secured using sandbags or water-filled weights. Staking into turf, soil, or landscaped areas is prohibited. Before then, it did say tents may be staked on the Paseo grounds, but due to irrigation and the other needs that's out there in the Paseo grounds, that's just going to cause more damage to our fields. So we're changing that.
So there's no exceptions, no plans pulled? What if there's, large events with tented situations that are more secure to stake into the concrete and repair? It feels like that blanket term is pretty strict. Just thinking, the traveling circuses and things like that could set up in the Coliseum parking lot. To me, that's pretty restrictive. Like, I understand the idea of that and just, mom and pop people doing it. But if you have professionals coming in and they get proper permits and pull proper information on irrigation, I feel like I would want to maybe have an exception to be reviewed, and so that you didn't have to turn down an event.
So the Coliseum is,
So this is just,
yeah, this is just for our venues. And especially
sorry.
for like the River Stage, we're doing some major renovations over there,
so
obviously.
the Coliseum isn't your venue? I'm confused.
Yeah, this is just for Paseo grounds at this
Okay,
point.
I'm
right
sorry,
here.
that's where I
Yes.
wasn't clear. I didn't
Yeah.
realize this
This
was
is
just for Paseo only.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then, yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
And so that follows for the Paseo grounds and actually the River Stage too. So it doesn't state the Coliseum on here.
Where does it state that this is just for the Paseo and River Stage?
If you
Okay,
just-
there we go, there we go.
yeah.
Okay, perfect, that's what I missed, thank you.
All right, moving forward to security, We did add, in the past, we've had situations to where we couldn't get the job filled for security or SAPD, to secure an officer to work an event, and that becomes a headache for us because at that point in time, we can't open up an event unless we have some type of security that's in place. So moving forward, we would like to put that added if the job isn't filled within 72 hours prior to the event, the civic events manager has the authority to hire private security to replace SAPD officers. Obviously, we want to have SAPD officers. We even lean upon the sheriff's department at times, but if they already have jobs that's already filled, it's not fair to the customer to not be able to open up because there's no security that's in place. So we want to be able to give that option to have private security come in and be able to work the job. And then for special events, we're adding that the agreement shall not be considered complete or valid until all required permits and applications have been approved and issued. Sometimes we'll have an event that's on our schedule and they'll go ahead and start promoting it and they do not have all the permits that are in place for us, and that just causes a headache upon staff to have to, catch up and get everything out there that's required to move forward with the event. So we want to be able to put something in our policies that basically states you cannot promote an event until all of the, everything has been completed, application-wise. And that's under special events. And
what's the next section?
And yeah, so on tents, we did change to, it says tents, canopies, and temporary structures are not permitted to be staked into the ground. All tents, canopies, and temporary structures must be secured using sandbags, or it just states the same thing that we did have. It did right there, it did state maybe tents may be utilized at the Coliseum and Convention Center parking lots as long as stakeholders are filled, but at this point in time, we won't be having any events at the Coliseum. That will be under civic events. So we went ahead and just took that part of the agreement out. Questions?
But they would still have the option to do it if they're professional and they go through the correct procedures for the Coliseum.
That's however they decide to move forward.
Okay. I do have a question about your permits. Does that apply, how far in advance is that? Because does that apply to somebody that schedules something 2 years in advance? I mean, you don't seem to have like a time limit that they have to have their.
So most of the people that are going to schedule an event, they're not probably going to do it 2 years in advance and start promoting it 2 years in advance.
Right.
But before you get out and start promoting your event, we need to start moving forward and getting all your permits in place.
But you
and
don't
taken
have
care
a
of.
particular timeline for that, let's say like 60 days, 90 days before. I'm just wondering if that would work better.
I agree, that's a good point, because I would consider a signed contract a valid agreement, and this right here makes the agreement invalid until they turn in those permits. So you could give
But
the
I don't-
venue to somebody else.
But I don't sign the agreement until you have all your permits that's
Yeah.
in place.
You don't sign a venue contract with anybody?
Not until you're supposed to have all your permits and everything taken care of. We'll hold the date.
So what would
We'll
be an
take-
example of permits? Like,
What do you mean?
well, so you don't consider a venue contract executed when they reserve the date and sign a contract?
So they
Until
don't.
they have
So they can
paperwork?
sign the contract, but I don't sign the contract until all the permits are taken care of.
I see. Okay.
So it's still their date. We don't get rid of your date. It's still yours. But before I sign the contract, I need to make sure that you have everything that's in place before signing it. Because if not, then everything else goes by the wayside. So if, let's say, somebody wants to do Paseo grounds, well, they still need to go over and possibly do a special events application. So I need them to confirm, get everything clear before with
I
the.
mean, I negotiate contracts all the time, and I require them to be fully executed so that I know that contract and that venue's secure, especially if I'm booking talent, doing all of that. So, I mean, I guess that would just be up to the person booking the venue, and if they need to get a special permit for, I wouldn't even know what permits would be needed for specifically.
Yeah,
So not
and this
a
is-
fight I want to fight, but.
Yeah, this is more of just for special events.
Yeah.
This is really not for like, I mean, a River Stage event. I
Yeah.
mean, most of those are just going to be a signing of a contract. There's not too many permits that are needed for, unless you're doing like pyrotechnics or some, some pyros or something like
Yeah,
that.
like
But this is
a
more of,
fireworks. But, I
But
mean,
if
what would you
somebody's-
consider a special event? Is there a definition of that?
so special event would be a food truck event. Food trucks or also, what's some other ones? Yes, road closures, yes.
Okay. Okay, yeah, you would have to have a permit for that. Okay.
So that should be everything, like I said, with the policies. Yeah, all I need is just a vote to move forward, a motion to move forward.
I'll
on the
move.
facility.
Motion.
I'll second.
Mr. President.
Okay, we're up to,
We have to vote. All
Number 3.
all those in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Now we're up to the update on the Bill Ayler Senior Memorial River Stage renovations.
Okay, so obviously, we all started with the renovations last year. Around November 9th is when they broke ground for renovations. We have a meeting every 2 weeks out there. Every I guess other Wednesday, we meet out there and we just go through what progress they've made, what changes, issues that they may be running through. But I wanted to go ahead and show you a couple of pictures of some of the progress that they actually have made out there. Don't go too fast. So as you can see on the left side, the loading dock, the new loading dock that we have. We've never had a loading dock, and I mean for production, this is definitely an enhancement for them because normally, as you can see, that they didn't get much room or area or space to be able to bring in any type of equipment, backline production. So being able to have the loading dock and they can back the 18-wheeler into that and unload and load back up. That's a great enhancement for our river stage. If you go around to the back side of it, we did add the ADA accessible sidewalks as well that we do have. And then also that is leading into the back dressing room areas. So another enhancement that we did make to the area. Now, where you see the cinder blocks that are filled in, that's discolored at the current moment, that's where our old storage room door was. So they did block that off. Inside of there is going to be where the new dressing room production office is going to be in place. So they're moving, they were just blocking that area off. Next to it, and I don't know if I have the picture that's on here, but there's also a storage room that's being built also on that side. Nice size storage room for us. It's going to give us some extra room to be able to put other needs for the river stage in there. They're also working on the walkway into the river stage, or that's already in the inside of the river stage. Obviously, you can't really see too much of it right now, but they're waiting to do the finishing touches on that. And then the last picture that's on the right side is the addition to the ticket office and concession area. So we're going to be adding 2 more additional box office ticketing booths, and then obviously on the other side of it will be more concession area too. Let's see where else we're at. This is what I was just discussing. So this is just the base of the new storage area. They're starting to build that up, but we're looking forward to having that built because we did need additional storage room area, and that was what gave us the opportunity to be able to make an additional dressing room. So now we can have 3 dressing rooms instead of the 2 that we had, plus a production office, and a catering area for the guests that'll be, at the River Stage. So we're still on point for finishing this in mid-March. We've had a couple of hiccups, but I think we're still in progress for that. And we're just looking forward to seeing the complete finished phase of Phase 1A. And then we'll be coming back around to you all to bring forward for Phase 1B. And you all will get a chance to see that before it goes to City Council.
Is there a target date for completion of the entire project?
When we receive funding.
Gotcha. Understood.
So as long as we can find. What was the problem? Close to 5 total because of what Phase 2A.
We were just discussing the potential cost of Phase 1B.
Yes, Phase 1B, yes, is around 3.5 million. But that's going to, I believe in that Phase 1B, and I may be wrong on a few of them, but I believe that included the new lift station. It also included the new entryway that we would be having. That's also including the restroom and concessions, the new restroom and concessions building that we had to make some changes to where that location is, but that's also including that. Those are probably the 3 main pieces of that.
Understood. Any other comment? Okay, motion to move on. I'll motion to move on. Do I have a second?
Future items, future agenda
To
items.
move on. Yeah. All in favor?
So yes, I do want to get a motion on, well, we don't need a motion on the River Stage renovations. That was just an update. So just
Okay.
go on to the future agenda items.
Okay. Future agenda items.
I was curious to see if we had an update on the Coliseum start date. I know it's still closed based on the January reports. Last meeting we had last quarter, it was unclear as to when the renovations would start. I assume after rodeo in April. Is that confirmed?
Yes.
May?
Yeah, I mean, it's not on the agenda, so we can't discuss it.
Okay, can we have
So
that
we-
for future
yes.
agenda?
Yes, we can put that on a future
I
agenda
thought
item.
it was put on this agenda, but I guess it wasn't when we discussed it last quarter?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, the project is progressing. There was a meeting with the contractors last week out there at the site and with the stock show in the city. And then the bids are going to be back due. I think it shifted to maybe the 15th or the 17th of February when bids
Yeah.
are due.
I would say the River Stage and the Coliseum should be updates on every single agenda we have, as long as they're in a construction phase.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I thought we would have kind of open discussion right here on that, but I guess we'll get a full update, formal update next
I
quarter.
believe, yeah, for the
So
next
that'll
meeting,
be
we'll probably have a better update on.
in April?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, so I think at the next meeting, we'll have a better update on, where they're at with the progress on the Coliseum.
I mean, because although nothing's starting there, you're still not booking the Coliseum.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comment? Okay.
And we'll probably do a walkthrough, since they'll be finished with the River Stage in March, mid-March. We'll probably have a walkthrough of the River Stage of first phase, so you all can be able to see the changes.
Good. Good.
Fun, looks good.
And it'll be warmer.
Any other comment? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
All right. We are adjourned.
All right.
Thank you all.
Not a lot to talk about, not a lot going on.